Baseball is probably one of the most popular sports in America. It all started in the 1840s when Americans wanted their own sport and a sport other than cricket. They took cricket and then turned it into baseball. There were two different games, the New York game and the Massachusetts game. The New York game was founded by the Knickerbockers, a baseball team in New York. When you look at the New York game, it may look similar. That is because the rules of the game today follow the New York style. The New York style consisted of a diamond with 10 players, compared to the Massachusetts game's 15 players. The Massachusetts game was common in New England. It was played in a square with 15 players. In the Massachusetts game, there were 4 bases rather than 3 bases and a home base. The batter would hit the ball between fourth and first bases. There was no foul line in the Massachusetts game, and you can run wherever you want. Baseball was so popular from later at the time of the Civil War that you saw baseball vocabulary used in political cartoons. As you could probably tell, baseball is primarily a northern sport. Players came from all over the north, and there are many teams in almost every major city you went to. Down south, baseball was growing in popularity, spreading to the south from newspapers, businessmen, and players. There were also many teams in the south, mostly New Orleans and St. Louis. There are a lot of people that say that the Civil War helped spread baseball. There are others that say that baseball is already spreading down south, and that the Civil War didn't really do much to help. When the war broke out, players from professional baseball clubs all over the North joined both sides of the war. With them, they brought the game of baseball. Some soldiers would bring baseball gear with them. Famous 19th century players and managers were Civil War veterans, like Frank Bancroft, a manager for the Providence Grays who won the first World Series in 1884. With people joining the military, there was one case of a player from northern clubs joining the Confederacy. A.T. Alec Purcell, a baseball player from the Brooklyn Excelsiors club, joined the Confederacy and was a surgeon. He treated many Union soldiers, including some of his former teammates. He was the Brooklyn Excelsiors star first baseman. When his team found out he joined the Confederacy, they expelled him from the club. During the Civil War, baseball was very popular. When there was no fighting or work to be done around the camp, soldiers would take out their bats and balls and play baseball. There is a lot of evidence supporting that the Civil War helped spread baseball. There is even evidence of baseball being played in prison camps, and there is also proof of a game at the Appomattox Courthouse between the Army of the Potomac and the Army of North Virginia following the surrender. You could compare the game between the Army of the Potomac and the Army of North Virginia to the soccer game that took place during World War I when the Christmas Treaty took place. German and British soldiers put down their rifles for a game of soccer. The same happened at Appomattox. Soldiers put down their rifles for a game of baseball. When baseball was played in prisoner camps in the North, Confederates would play against themselves or with Union guards. Baseball was so popular amongst the soldiers that they forgot their ranks and played baseball together for pastime. The same happened down south. There was one baseball game that pitted the 13th Massachusetts Infantry against the 1st Rhode Island Light Artillery. It was said that the 13th Massachusetts and the 1st Rhode Island were so good that they could beat any professional baseball team at the time. There was also a game where soldiers from the Irish Brigade played against themselves, and Confederate scouts watched the whole game. A soldier from the Union Army in Alexandria, Texas, wrote home saying that while playing a baseball game, they were attacked and their center field was captured, along with the only baseball they had being shot.